Hello everyone and welcome back to FM26. This is the Journeyman and this is episode 20. Welcome back to the home of your opening stage champions. Dramatic scenes last time out and things have only got better from there. I think winning the opening stage did great wonders for our sort of reputation, so we've managed to do some great transfer business and we've started off the closing stage in great form. As you can see, we started off with a couple of friendlies just to get the squad match fit ahead of the closing stage starting, and since then we've been really strong. We started with a 2-0 away win over Atlas, followed up with a 2-0 win against Mazatlan, another 2-0 win away at San Luis, followed by another 2-0 win at home to Tijuana, then topped off with a 3-0 win against Leon. We finally conceded a goal away at Necaxa, where we won 5-2. And then the big one, our first North American Champions Cup game against Cincinnati at home at El Volcan. After falling behind in the 21st minute, we did end up going on to win 3-1 in the end, and we take a 3-1 lead into the second leg. We followed that up with a disappointing performance in the league against Santos Laguna, 0-0, and to be honest, they probably were the better team in that game, so probably 0-0 was good for us. But we've just bounced back with a thumping of Club America, one of our big rivals, 4-1 at home, and it was a very good performance. Missing some key players too. And we're back today to play the second leg of the North American Champions Cup game together against Cincinnati, away from home at the TQL Stadium. We've got some big players out still. We're going to have to rest a couple on the bench also, but I'm still confident. We've got a 3-1 opening leg win behind us. We can go there, get the job done, move into the next round. Don't forget, this is the big competition for us now. We're pretty dominant in the league now. It's all about trying to translate that into winning the North American Champions Cup. And then we'll leave Tigres and find a new place to dominate, overcome and move on. So this is how the league's looking currently. We're 6 points clear. We've bossed it in terms of goals, scoring the most out of every team in the league. We've also conceded the fewest, with only 3 conceded, leaving us with a 17 goal difference, 9 clear of Pumas and Club America. Things are looking strong in the league. The squad's looking really strong. Let's have a quick look at who was brought in. As you know, we had a lot of transfer money that we haven't been able to use over the last 2 seasons. This was the window where we put it to great use. We've gone balls out to try and push this squad to a level where we think we can win that North American Champions Cup. So, some big changes. We've brought in Dro from Barcelona on a 2-year loan. He's exceptional. Look at his attributes. He's going to play deep line playmaker instead of Jerez, who we've listed for loan. He's still only 19, so hopefully he can get a loan and go out and continue developing elsewhere. But we could not turn down this chance to sign an elite talent who could definitely make the difference for us. The only caveat is he's been very injury prone since joining and hasn't really made a lot of appearances so far. Another big loan came in the form of Rodrigo Huescas, a Mexican player at Real Madrid. They didn't want him, was listed for sale. We've got him in on a pretty hefty loan contract. We're paying about 60-70k a week of it. There's an option to buy, but we're never going to activate that. He's here to take over the right back spot from Araujo, and again he started off really good for us. Very attacking, very pacey, a danger in and around the box, so a really good option for us. I carried on adding lots of great youth options too, so some of the money's gone on to the youth team, but a huge chunk of it has gone on Oscar Uriel Ramirez Parales from our rivals Club America. Initially I was buying him to play CDM, but I've now decided to play him left centre back, and he's just very good. I think he's classed as a wonder kid in game. We spent 22 million, I think, in total once all add-ons have been completed, etc. on instalments and stuff. He's started his career here excellently. Obviously, it's really helpful to us to have extra very good Mexicans in the team. It means we've got room for some of those non-Mexican born players. The next one is another loan player. I've gone heavy this is a real push to try and get us over the line here. I feel like we could possibly win the North American Champions Cup this season, providing we can stay in good form and providing we can keep the injuries to a minimum. That's going to be the target. So actually I missed out on this player, Enzo Fernandez, not the Enzo Fernandez, it's a regen or a new gen, whatever you call them. He chose Man City over us, as you would. However, he was then listed for loan, so I've gone back, got him on loan for a 2-season loan. And wow, look at him. He's going to be playing as a box-to-box midfielder in the DM position, pushing right up, adding extra bodies to our attack, hopefully creating some goals, scoring some goals, generally just being an excellent player. 20 years old, look at him, absolutely ridiculous. And so far he's got 3 goal contributions in his first 7 appearances, so off to a really good start. And the final 2 were both Mexicans. Victor Quirarte, a young attacking left wing back, very quick, some very strong attributes. He became available, he's considered a wonder kid in game. He's got better current and potential ability than Van Steen, who we brought in last season. So I've brought him in to dovetail. Quirarte is way more attacking. Van Steen is taller and more defensive. So we've got the perfect combination of players to suit every game type. We also brought in Arturo Moreno. He would provide cover for Simas. We lost the big guy Uribe, who was recalled by Mikel Arteta to Arsenal, because we weren't playing him enough this season. So we lost the big guy, he's gone back. So we spent 9.75 million to bring in Arturo, who we're going to play as a channel forward or a centre forward. He so far has got 5 goal contributions and a man of the match in his first 4 appearances. So things are off to a good start for him. In terms of outgoings, there wasn't a lot of business done, mainly loans. However, there was a big one. Club captain, Fernando Tapia, our number 1 choice goalkeeper, left for £15 million. Club America offered a few lower amounts, and I thought, right, okay, let's negotiate this up. I think there might even be a 2.5 million after 50 games, so it might be 17.5 eventually. And for a 29-year-old goalkeeper who's only half a star better than our at the time Padilla, our backup keeper, it just was too much money to turn down. Obviously, there's the risk with the dynamics of the team because it is the captain, but I just decided it was too much money to turn down. It then allowed us to bring in those 2 Mexican youth options late in the window, so I think it was worthwhile in the long term. So that's basically how it's all been going so far this season. I will see you guys for kickoff in the second leg of our North American Champions Cup game against Cincinnati. Okay, here we go. We are underway in the snow in Cincinnati. "3-1 up from the home leg. Let's see how we get on. Morales with a free kick. Over the bar. Danger man for the opposition is Ajeda. We've played Cincinnati twice this season. We played them in the Leagues Cup as well. And he scored against us in both games. So he's definitely one to keep an eye out. We actually got recommended him on the scout reports as well, so he's clearly a talented player. And they've got a chance here. Espinosa down the wing. Oh no, Van Steen's snapped himself up. We're missing Quirarte as well. He's also injured for this game, so that's both our first choice our 2 best left backs are now out of the game. Third choice, let's bring Felix in. Not a great start to this match. Obviously, this is the tournament we really want to go for this season. Like I said earlier in the video, we've changed from the 4-2-4 tiki-taka, so we're now playing a 4-2-3-1, still with the same sort of philosophy. Lots of passes in between the lines, very patient build-up, looking to create those openings. It's given us more control. We've now moved the wider players back to being wingers rather than wide forwards, just to keep the pitch nice and wide and give Zinedine Zidane in that cam position license to sort of operate with a bit more space. Here's Uribe into the box, cuts it back for Cortez, cleared. Cortez out left to Felix. We don't need to do too much, we don't need to go and win 4-0 or anything here, but it'd be nice to see a strong performance. I'm not entirely sure where our 0.88 XG has been created from so far, but it's promising either way. Here's Espinosa again up against Felix. We're probably slightly more compact now, out of possession, with the cam dropping in front of the 2 CDMs, so I think we're quite hard to play through now, as they get in behind and blaze one over. Approaching half time, not much to shout about so far. We've got Seamas on the bench. He's just back from injury, if we need him. Header over the bar from Perales. And the first half's gone in a flash. Here's Byrne into Buckley, who plays out nicely, and they've got space down the right. Here's Denke, well defended by Perales, who's been excellent since we brought him in. It's kind of nice just having a bunch of actual genuine wonder kids that are Mexican in the team. Oh, that is a great save by Kovac. So Kovac I bought for about 40k about 2 seasons ago. 6'6", giant keeper. He's 2.5 star current ability with very high potential. So I decided it was his time to step up and become first choice this season, and he's been so good. Right, let's... Okay, let's try and keep it positive. We can make some changes, but to be totally honest, if it stays 0-0, I'm not all that bothered. We'll try and get a good performance out of the guys, but I'd say we've been second best so far, even though the XG is suggesting otherwise. Here's Moreno out wide to Gonzalez, bringing it into the box. Pulls it back to Fernandez, and that's a very tame effort, to be honest. That's the sort of position we want him and Zidane occupying. From the wingers get to the byline, they turn back, they look for that sort of cut back across the box, and that's where we're hoping those two guys are going to position themselves. Obviously, when Seamas is fit, he'll be in there too. Nice play here into Zidane. Uribe cuts inside. Oh, strong effort, but Bergstrom puts it over. We've started the second half well here. Right. I'm not sure I've seen snow on FM this year, actually. I think this is the first time. Uribe, again, another player we brought in that's done very well. Huesca to Cortez. Into Zidane. Lovely work on the edge of the box. Oh, it's off the bar. Zidane's there with a follow-up, though. Is he onside? I think he is. It looked like the linesman's flag was up, but I'm not sure it is. This was lovely play here. Very intricate, and that's a great effort from Uribe. And I'm not entirely sure what happens, but Zidane seems to tackle the ball back off the defender and just pop it in, so... That's this tie looking way more comfortable for us now. I don't know what I've been doing, but for some reason, I maybe have banged my head while watching this game. But somehow I've totally blanked a goal. It's actually 2-0, and I've for some reason totally either missed a goal or totally forgotten about a goal whilst watching this game, which has only been on for a matter of minutes, so I'm not entirely sure how I've done that. But we're now 5-1 up in this tie, because apparently Uribe scored earlier. Why can't I remember that? I feel like I'm losing the plot here. Here's Cincinnati putting pressure on us. Great save from Kovac. It does give us some flexibility to make some subs shortly, though. We've got a lot of players returning from injury at the minute. So if we can get some minutes into the legs, that is always helpful. We also have 12 subs on the bench for this competition, so weirdly our squad is probably stronger in this competition than it is in the Mexican League, because there's not so many strict rules in terms of personnel and where they have to be from and how old they have to be, etc. So a bunch of the guys that are currently in the under-21s can play in this competition too, which probably gives us about 5 or 6 more 2.5 star ability players than we've got in the league squad. Right, let's do a couple of subs. We've got a bunch of people looking complacent, which is never good. So let's take Fernandez off to bring on box to box. Who are we going to bring on for that? Oh, everyone's looking complacent. That's not a great start, is it? Let's bring on Emanalo, and we'll change him actually to just a DM. And then Cortez can come off for Dro because he needs to get some minutes. Uribe can come off for the main man Lainez, who's now playing a bit part role from the bench, but still chipping in with some valuable contributions. 20 minutes to go. We're looking solid to get through to the next round. I'm not entirely sure how many knockout rounds there are in this one. I can't remember the last time I did a North American Champions Cup. So we'll have to play that by ear. But we're certainly looking strong for both this competition and all the domestic ones. Like I said, this is my main focus. If it's a case of prioritising league games or Champions League games, we're going for the Champions League this season. We've now won back-to-back open and closing stages. We're looking good for this one, this closing stage, so we could go back-to-back here if we can carry on as we are. So I think the objective now is just to push that form on. We've got to go for it. Okay. Closing this one out for a fairly comfortable win in the end away from home. How are all you guys doing? Hope you've been enjoying the series. Hope you've also been enjoying your own saves or other creators you like watching. Hope you're enjoying the game in whatever way you choose to. I must admit I've been loving this save. It's been really good fun. Now the game is slightly more stable than it was when it first launched, and whether I like it or not, I'm used to the UI now, so I'm getting through it and enjoying the game far more than I was when it first came out. So yeah, there is that, I guess. I'm looking forward to whatever comes next in this save. Obviously, we've got a long way to go to try and win this competition first. But it's quite exciting to think of where we might end up after the Tigres. It's been really interesting so far. Korea, then Mexico. Who knows where we will go next? But that's a slightly ambitious ball from Felix down the line. And this is a weird highlight. It might be just the final one of the game. But they're just passing it around in defence whilst losing 2-0. Needing 4 goals in the next 20 seconds. Here's Espinosa though down the line. He's put a dangerous ball in and they've got a goal, and it's that man Jada again. 3 games against us, 3 goals. Maybe we should sign him so he can stop scoring against us. That was a very straightforward goal. Gonzalez let him pass very easily there. Great ball in at the near post. And there's not much Kovac can do about that. It's only a consolation. But frustrating from us to let in another goal. And here's Denki again. We're trying to throw it away at the end here. Can we have the whistle ref? Kareem Williams blows for full time. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop us a like if you did. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of the following episodes. And if you fancy, let me know how you're enjoying the save, or tell me all about yours, whatever you like. Come down in the comments and say hi. Until next time, bye bye.